you give yourself permission and simultaneously require yourself to get back in the game.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we will be hearing some of self-help guru Dr. Phil's sage advice about learning how to fight alone. In this instance, Dr. Phil explains to the guest,
Gabrielle, who was couch surfing and smoking pot with her own mother,
that he should face his problem head-on and look at his sister from a different, desensitized point of view. Dr. Phil discusses ways to avoid having panic attacks with guests Marissa and Dr. Frida Hall. One thing that helps lower the risk of panic attacks is talking to other people about our problems. We should only focus on things we want to do.
You're not developing other relationships, you're not growing socially and emotionally, you're not doing any of the things that involve your evolution.
Challenge the negative thoughts in our minds and make positive changes in our lives as soon as possible. During and after the COVID-19 pandemic,
when someone steps up like you guys are doing, like the school district is doing,
Dr. Phil believes we should make sure children know that we care about them and support them as they continue to learn and develop during these difficult times. We all might feel lonely sometimes, but we all need to remember that there is someone who cares about us.
An independent professional tells you that it is safe to do so.
Or whatever, you've got to ask yourself, is this a true fact? Is this a true fact? I can't, because of what I've been told, I can't do what I need to with my art. Is that true? You don't know that. You cannot accept that as true and valid. And so what do you do with that? You evaluate it and say, is that true? And the answer is no, or I don't know. So you can't accept that. You can teach art. You can do, it can become an avocation or a vocation. There are so many ways that you can express your artistic talents and light yourself up. It comes back to the question, how's it working for you? Is it making you happy? Is it doing the things that you want with your life? The answer is no, it fails on that test. And you have to ask yourself, does this protect and prolong my life? Let me tell you, doing what you don't want in this world will wear you smooth out. What's happened is you've gotten comfortable sitting on the sidelines and watching your life go by. It's easier not to make the change. You've gotten lazy and you've gotten in your comfort zone, and you have to require more of yourself. And you start by challenging everything you're telling yourself. You have checked out of your life.
I want to be very clear. You've done some atypical, eccentric, I think mentally unhealthy, emotionally unhealthy behaviors in your life. But at this point, you've never hurt anyone against their will. You've never killed anybody, I want to be very clear about it. You've also sought help for this. Put yourself in outpatient programs, very intense out. Been forthcoming about this, and I often say you can't change what you don't acknowledge, and you've acknowledged this, and that's a big step. If your relationship with your sister is a trigger, then you need to resolve that to the point that you desensitize yourself to her as a trigger. And you should not be alone with this man, with yourself and your children, unless and until an independent professional tells you that it is safe to do so. Well, Marissa is joining me along with our very good friend and a viewer favorite, Dr. Frida Lewis Hall. My next guest, Marissa, says she has suffered from debilitating panic attacks for several years. At times, she finds herself crying, hyperventilating, and feeling completely out of control. If you feel like you've had a panic attack, raise your hand. Wow, you're not alone. And while it's not known exactly what causes panic attacks, there may be a genetic component as well as social triggers. And that trigger could be job stress, it could be relationships, losing a loved one. Do you find that you can avoid certain situations and stay calm? And if you go to those situations, you start getting anxious. Talking about things with people you trust really helps. If you don't feel isolated, you feel more powerful.
but that's the time that we need to come together the most. And it's so easy to feel lonely. It's so easy to feel alone. And when you're with those four walls and you can't go out, food is a problem, resources for education are a problem, you can really feel that nobody cares. And actually that changes the physical aspects as well as the psychological aspects. And if these children get to feeling like they are forgotten, boy, that's just a terrible message to send to these children. Someone steps up like you guys guys are doing, like the school district is doing, then those kids start saying to themselves, wow, we matter. It really, somebody cares about us. And what a message to send to the children that they wouldn't otherwise be getting. It's so important that we send that, because loneliness can really erode health, and it can just give you a sense of hopelessness. Well, the main thing is to stay connected right now, because isolation doesn't have to equal loneliness. And the thing you need to do is use the technology. Robin and I 100% support the CDC guidelines. We're staying in isolation right now, sheltering at home. We're respecting the social distancing, making only essential trips, and we want everyone to do that. But at the same time, reach out to those people that you love and care about. If you've got people in your neighborhood that you know, perhaps elderly people that can't get out, knock on their door.
Well, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and consider subscribing for more motivational videos.